Welcome to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, as Dallas and I are here to announce our next big move, biggest move we've ever made for Revival Today. Behind me is a building that will look nothing like it looks right now when we finish. We're on just under 5 acres of property that we've just finished purchasing, which is going to give us the ability to have a state-of-the-art studio. And in that studio, something I've wanted to have for a long time, which is a live studio audience. It's going to be a 500-seat building when we finish with it that'll give us the ability to touch the world with our broadcasts. This facility is going to give me the ability to do what I've really missed, which is having you in the audience to minister to personally. Obviously, you can't beat the reach of digital media. We touch the whole world every day, but we have the ability now with this to lay hands on people, pray for people that are sick, a place where you can bring people that are drug addicted, demonized, and really give them the ministry that you can't get on YouTube and Facebook. I can't wait. And then beyond that, we're going to announce the launch of Revival Today Church. We're going to hold Holy Ghost church services every Sunday morning. I'll be there most Sunday mornings. This isn't going to be like some little side project. We're going to give you and your family a place you can go that's a soul-winning church that values the presence of God, where you can get prayed for and ministered to, where there's not a critical race theory lecture or a mask and social distancing, 10 minutes of no talking to anybody in the lobby. None of that. We're going to have a place where you're free and where you're free to experience the presence of God.
I'm incredibly excited because I know a lot of you have been asking about different meetings and events that we couldn't have during COVID, and trust me, we tried so hard. So this really frees us up to do everything that we want to do with healing meetings and women's conferences. So I am so looking forward to seeing you and having you be a part of this.
So I want to give you a twofold call to action. Number one, if your church turned in to a liberal nightmare in 2020 and you need a place to go, I would be happy to have you at our church. Number two, if you are a partner or a friend of our ministry, Revival Today, this is the biggest move by far we've ever made. By the time we finish remodeling that building, the acquiring of the property, you're looking at a couple of M's. So if you would stand with us now, I'll say thank you ahead of time. Pray and ask the Holy Ghost what He would have you to do. You've been so generous, and I thank you ahead of time for your extreme generosity. I know I speak on behalf of my wife, everybody here at Revival Today, when I say we love you very much. And now I can say I look forward to seeing you face to face here at the new home of Revival Today.
Hey.
Welcome to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania for the launch of Let's Check the Market. I'm Jonathan Shuttlesworth. I will not be here most days, but I wanted to be here for the launch. And I know Patrick and I did a program, podcast on stereo, and it was the second most listened to program on the entire app. I know there's almost nothing to listen to if you're interested in a Christian to make money in the market. You know, what do you do with your money besides put it in a savings account and checking account? So we wanted to give you something that gives you daily analysis and stuff that you can look at, like practical things you can do with your money that are going to help you out. So whether it's crypto or stock or real estate, we're going to get into all of it. Market opens in an hour and a half, and I will swing it to the host of our show, the man that runs the finances for Revival Today, Patrick Franz.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the first episode. I'm super excited to be able to be here and make this a daily thing with you and look at the markets, crypto, finances, whatever questions you have. You can email us or you can just ask them here on the broadcast on Facebook, YouTube. Just ask your questions and I'll do my best to answer them. And I'm looking forward to this journey that we're starting today together.
What's the first article you got?
The first article I have is I'm looking at the Australian meatpacking hack.
Let's hear it.
So if you want to put that article up, it's the other one, the one from Reuters. Meat is the latest cyber victim as hackers hit top suppliers. JBS is one of the biggest meat packing companies in the world, and they just got hit by a hack. And so I think that's, obviously a threat, but we can also take a look at it to see if there's some opportunities. So they got hit by a hack. It affected some Canadian operations. It affected some American operations, and then also in Australia, where they said they don't know how long it's going to be down for. So when I see something like that, what I look at is I take a look at it and I'm like, I wonder if there's opportunities there. Is there anything that I have, are there any threats? So I looked at my portfolio. I'm not exposed to any of that, and but there are some opportunities. Okay, so if this happened in the U.S. and one of the biggest meatpacking places goes down, you can take a look at what are people going to substitute it with? Tyson chicken. If there's supply chain shortages, some people might even say I'm gonna try the Beyond Meat, the plant-based meats. So those are all things that you can look at and then see if those are.
So there's already a beef shortage. There's going to be more of a beef shortage in the short term? Everywhere, or what countries?
In Australia mostly.
Okay.
They're saying it's not going to affect America a whole lot.
Okay, so so the opportunity is to invest in things that are going to substitute for that?
Yes, that's what I would say. So I'm using it as like an example. It is news because we're going to see this more. The hackers are targeting critical infrastructure, of which, food supply chain. We just saw it with the Colonial Pipeline. So I don't think we're going to see less of that because Colonial Pipeline paid up. And so I think that we're going to...
A lot of money, more than they said, right?
Exactly.
They said $9 million, it was like $70 million.
I think it was like 4.4 million what they paid, but who knows what the exact figure was. And so I think we're going to see more of that, especially on critical infrastructure, and that's why you can see opportunities there. And then if you're exposed to any of those companies, don't panic sell, just stay in them and they'll recover.
What else you got?
I got inflation. I don't have an article for this, but inflation is still, I see that everywhere. Whether I check the Wall Street Journal, Market Watch, whatever I check, inflation is on everybody's mind. It's in the back of the minds of investors, not only in the U.S., but globally. They use all sorts of excuses. I think it's because of the global lockdowns and the stimulus. And so now there's a shortage of everything from rare earth minerals in China, where there's inflation fears. In Europe, people aren't going back to work, so there's inflation fears. In the U.S., it's the same thing. And so inflation's everywhere, and people are really paying attention to that. And it depends on what the Fed is going to do to see what happens next with that. Are they going to increase rates? And then how is that going to affect the stock market? So those are things that...
Let me ask you two things about inflation. Number one, obviously with Biden's people in charge at the Fed and stuff, they cover for him, right? Inflation's much higher than what they're saying.
Yeah, from what we can see, because you look at people. I've been reading article after article, people saying their grocery bills have gone up 25-30%. Gas is up, lumber's up 250%.
Wow,
it's insane. And so there's much more inflation than they're saying. They say over all the goods, it might be 4-point-something% because inflation on desserts there's actually deflation, so the prices have gone down one.
On desserts?
Yeah.
So that's good for people that want diabetes.
Exactly.
So here's the thing that I like that you do that they don't do on most financial shows that I watch. So like they'll just report that inflation's up. So then as an investor, how do you turn that to your advantage?
You would have to hedge it. So, cryptocurrencies took a nosedive. So that's one place that people usually look for inflation protection. Gold is up 8% last month.
So crypto is not inflation protection, correct?
I think just because of everything that happened with China and Iran and all the regulatory.
You think it's just timing?
I think it's just timing. But overall, I think it would be, depending on what regulatory agencies do, it'll still be.
I had 3 crypto guys on my podcast over the weekend, and they said that all of them said they feel like crypto right now is like the stock market in April of last year, that you basically could like throw a dart at any of them and they're all like low and going to go up.
Yeah.
Agree or disagree?
I agree.
Yeah?
Yep.
What would be your top 3?
Top 3 cryptos: Ethereum, Bitcoin Cash, and XRP.
I'm writing that down. Ethereum, Bitcoin Cash, and XRP.
And then a bonus, if you really want to gamble, Doge. But
Still.
play that. I mean, if you want to play that on a day-to-day basis, you might make some money, especially if they have like the 8%, 5% swings. That would be a good.
Crypto that you're low on, that had its run or whatever, or that people are high on that you think you don't see any future in it.
I think Bitcoin still has a future, but I don't think it's going to rise as much as the others, just because it's so expensive, not only to mine, but also to transact in Bitcoin.
Right, and even the people that are high on it have it going to 100,000, which is less than a 3x return, whereas the other ones you can still hit your like 400x return, right?
Yep.
Interesting. I had my cousin Preston that was on with me. He said the analysts he listens to say Bitcoin is like MySpace, like they're the ones that broke into the field, but their technology. For what? Like how many transactions they can do per second is like very slow.
Yeah.
Then XRP has like much better infrastructure, and people think XRP is more like Facebook that's going to supplant it.
Yeah,
True?
I agree with that.
All right, so every day we're going to do a high risk, medium risk, and low risk stock to research. This is not telling you to buy it. This is ones that would be worth looking into, and these are picked obviously by our very own Patrick. So go ahead. Let's go low. Let's go low to high. Go low risk to research today. What do you have?
Okay, I have Good, GOOD, Gladstone Commercial Corporation. It is a real estate investment trust, which they have been going up here recently because a lot of people have been moving their money into more safer assets like that, low risk. There's a 6 to 7% annual dividend yield on it, which is incredible. That means that if at 7%, you can double your money within 7 years just from the dividend. And so it's a real estate investment trust, commercial. It has over 95% occupancy rate for their properties, which is great even throughout the pandemic. And they never skipped a distribution since their inception in 2003. So that's a low risk one that I would encourage you to look into. See if that's something that makes sense for you, makes sense for your portfolio.
Where do they trade?
They trade on the NASDAQ.
So does NASDAQ open later? Are they 10?
No, NASDAQ.
They're 9:30?
Yeah.
I never see results from NASDAQ stocks till later on. Must be a personal problem. Because they're flat, right? Good's flat right now, right?
Could be, yeah. Let me check real quick.
0.
Yep, 0.18.
Okay, so it is moving.
Yep.
Okay, so there's your safe pick, GOOD to research. Worth looking into. How about medium risk?
Medium risk, Boeing, BA. They were just upgraded by Cohen and Company with a price target of $290. Right now they're trading around 240, 254. They're actually up 3% today.
Already.
Yep. So Boeing would be a medium risk. There's some risks because of the supply chain shortages, especially.
Why is there? What's wrong?
I think it was just because of the global shutdowns. People aren't working, and there's such a backlog now that things are opening back up. People weren't working in China, in Taiwan, and all those factories that got shut down.
Yeah, I bought a friend of mine a pair of cowboy boots when I was in Texas, custom made.
Yeah.
When we got all done paying everything, they told him at the end, he's 77. They said it'll be 1 year because we had to shut our place down for COVID for 2 months, so we're that backed up. And he went, 1 year? I could be dead. And it was like, serious. You know, you tell a guy it's almost 80, he has to wait a year for something. Yeah, so it is. So that's what it is. It's not like conspiratorial, or it's just places were shut down, and then now there's backlogs because places shut down for COVID, but people were still buying tons of stuff.
Yeah.
Interesting. So that's the medium is Boeing. So boring stocks, it's looking like are the pick, huh?
Yeah.
So even your safe pick has a chance at a huge return. Good?
Yeah. Good.
You said 7x?
No, 7%.
Oh, 7%. Yeah,
Yeah.
which is great.
But who knows how high it's going to go when people start putting money into it. And at that point, I would sell and just forget about the dividend. But even if I'm in it for the next 10 years, I get a 6 to 7% return per year. That's great for one stock.
So GOOD is a dividend stock.
Yeah.
Boeing, dividend or no dividend?
They do have a small dividend.
Small dividend.
But it's very small.
How high, what percentage do you see for the medium risk Boeing for return?
Actually, Boeing doesn't have a dividend deal.
No dividend on Boeing.
I see Boeing going back up because it's not, people, when they think of Boeing, they think of commercial airplanes, but it's actually a defense company as well.
Right.
And so they create missiles, drones, all sorts of things, and that's why I think it's not only a good pick for the commercial aviation starting back up, but also for defense as a defense stock.
Okay, and then let's get to what I was looking forward to the most. High risk.
High risk, NIO, N-I-O, NIO electric vehicle.
Okay, before you get into it, why is NIO still considered high risk?
I think because of the high volatility that it has. It's one of those stocks that are often speculated on, and that's why it's more high risk. It's a very young company. The electric vehicle market is saturated. There's a lot of players out there trying to get into it. And so whenever we see that, who knows 10 years from now which company is going to survive.
Right.
And so that's why I think it's still high risk. Plus, it's a Chinese company, and with all the trade wars and rhetoric and all, who knows if at some point they decide to cut off all Chinese company from the New York Stock Exchange. And then
which could happen.
Exactly.
And it's also high risk because even though there's a long history of excellent mass-produced Chinese vehicles.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, so what's the upside on it?
Citigroup just raised it from neutral to buy. It's making moves to cut manufacturing costs by entering into agreements with other companies to decrease their manufacturing costs, to get better materials. It's access to the Chinese market, which is huge for electric vehicles because they're pushing electric vehicles hard. They want to be the next Germany of electric vehicles, where their brands are synonymous with like electric vehicles. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so they're putting a lot of quality.
And if the Chinese government throws their weight behind that, it's a big deal, right?
Yeah. And then plus they just said that Teslas aren't allowed on Chinese government compounds because they might...
Spyware.
Because of the spyware. And so I think that those people would then look for an alternative, which would be NIO. There's a couple others, but NIO really has
you put NIO in the lead of the Chinese electrical vehicles. Okay, let me ask you two follow-up questions. Who would you have in second place in Chinese electrical vehicles?
Li Feng, I believe. I don't know if they're traded public, but they have
You have to meet a guy behind a dumpster.
They do. They have the big, one of the big Chinese, whatever. They have such long names. Whatever it is that's behind them is basically a government company.
Okay, and then forget whether they're from China or not. Who would you then put in the running with them as a regular electric vehicle, let's say besides Tesla?
Yeah, besides Tesla, Fisker, because they're coming out with that SUV, the Ocean.
Yep.
And I think that's going to be the price point on that is very low. And in I actually just read an article in the last 3 months, Tesla raised the price of their vehicles by $2,500. So they're going up in price, and they're removing features on them. And Fisker went into a supply agreement with a company called Magna Steyr in Austria. So Fisker isn't actually producing the vehicles. It's a different company that's producing them. And so that's a way for them to cut costs because there's already infrastructure there. There's the factories are already built, unlike with Tesla where they have to build factories and spend billions of dollars.
So they're ahead because they already have the ability to produce.
So I think that they're going to be a real threat to Tesla.
We're going to put our phone number on the screen and take stocks that you have if you want. I'm trying to think of a good way to phrase it. If you want a second opinion or third opinion about something you're already thinking about, I have to dodge around saying the word advice. So I'm dodging around saying advice. While you guys put the number up, while we're waiting for the call, let me ask you, and if you don't know about it, it's okay. Do you know anything about the LiDAR technology for self-driving cars?
I looked into it recently, yeah.
Okay, so you have Microvision, and then you have Luminar,
Yeah.
who Tesla just used Luminar. So basically, I'm getting some selfish advice, but, I don't think once they introduce something into people's minds, a concept like driverless cars, it doesn't go away. It's not like people are just going to like scrap it and be like, well, we weren't able to do it. Someone's going to figure out how to do it.
Yeah.
So initially, Elon Musk said that the LiDAR laser technology wasn't going to work, but then his cars started just killing masses of people every time they did a test. So he had to rethink what he said on that. He didn't use Microvision. He used that Luminar company.
Yeah.
But somehow that made Microvision go up. Because why? People think Luminar's trash or what?
I'm not sure. There's a lot of companies that are using the LiDAR, the radar. I mean, it's in every car, the radar technology.
Anybody that's going to do driverless cars, or it's already in every...
even with the sensors, because it's all used by radar. Elon Musk actually just said that they want to get away from the radar and use cameras for sight. I read an article.
So when you say
that.
radar, you mean the LiDAR?
No, not LiDAR, but radar. So radar, LiDAR, technology. That's
similar
technology, yeah.
So he doesn't want to use Luminar or Microvision.
He wants to use vision. So I don't know how that all is going to shake out. I still have to look into it a little bit more, but that's one reason why it's on Microvision is on my watch list. I just want to see what other companies are going to do, if they're going to start going to that, or if they're going to be in like the Vision 2 where they're just going to use cameras, which I don't quite know how that would work. And also like a huge privacy concern. Yes.
412-206-6274 +1 412-206-6274 if you want to ask an investment or finance question. Percentage chance of Nikola ever recovering? Because there's some people that the two schools of thought is it's so low that it's a good time to buy it, and then the other one is it's the worst stock on the New York Stock Exchange and should be delisted by lunchtime.
Yeah, I think they have a chance to recover, only because I don't know that company. I don't know if they're lying. Yeah, I don't know if they're lying or not, because they say they have orders and they don't have orders. Like, just they need to be truthful to gain investor confidence back.
Because the old CEO was a liar, right?
Yeah, I think they have a good product, and everybody's looking for electric. That's what everybody's pushing, even in this $6
But they've never made a product, right?
I've seen a prototype. I don't know if it's workable or not, if it drives or not. I haven't seen it drive.
You might want to get on that, like if you work for them.
Yeah.
That's so odd to me that you have those companies that are just like, their revenue sheets like minus 700 million, and people are like high on them. They've never taken in $1.
No.
Except loans, right?
I think a lot of it is like people look for electric vehicle stock, so they go to Tesla. They're like, man, Tesla's really expensive. What are the other companies that they compare it to? And then you just do a Google search, companies like Tesla. Oh, look at Nikola, I'll invest in them. They're low, something like that.
What was a stock? Questions, 412-206-6274. It's a short program, so we're not going to be on, wrap it up around 10 o'clock. What was one you were on the fence on oh, we have a call. Your name and where you're calling from.
My name is Matt Crenshaw, calling from Louisville, Kentucky.
Glad to have you on from Louisville. Go ahead with your question to Patrick.
There was a company that I was looking into as a severe long shot. It was Major League Football. I think it was a penny stock. It was coming in at like 3 cents a share. But there was a bunch of talk about a lot of people, the pandemic and all the shit, that a lot of these arena ball sports leagues may spring back up and actually be a good play. What do you think about it?
First you're hearing about it?
Yeah, first I'm hearing about it.
So it was Major League Football? Did you guys cut it?
Like 2 and 3
Go ahead.
and back in the beginning of the year. And a lot of people were saying that because of all the shutdowns and major and sporting events not being able to go to, that a lot of these arena ball football leagues may be able to do good. What did you think about it? Do you think that actually was a good penny stock play or not?
Oh, it's a penny stock. Well, number one, and I'm not going to answer for Patrick, but penny stocks, even if it's like a good company, just getting into penny stocks is dicey, right? Because it's not regulated. You can get slaughtered.
You can get slaughtered because a lot of people will look for those and then tell their following, hey, this is the company you want to invest in, and it pushes it up, and then they get out, they sell out at the perfect moment, and everybody else loses their money. So penny stocks are always very, very volatile. So I would be careful with penny stocks. If they're trading for 3 cents, I would look more into the company. Are they posting financials? Is it actually a good investment? Because if it's trading at 3 cents, the chances are it's not listed on the New York Stock Exchange. It's like what they call a pink sheet stock.
Good answer. Thanks for the call in Louisville. 412-206-6274. Glad you're watching. They got a good crowd on YouTube, and it's nice to see it. If you haven't followed the channel, make sure to follow it. The Jonathan Shuttlesworth YouTube channel. That's me, but Patrick's hosting the show. What's another one you were high on that you were considering breaking into your top 3?
For the stocks, Volkswagen.
For what reason?
Because they're coming out with a whole line of electric vehicles, and they have the distribution network. They're a worldwide brand. They're already known. And so I think that might be a good play too. They still have like a bad reputation from all that diesel emission stuff a couple of years ago. But I think that they could be a major player in the electric vehicle market.
Antero Resources up 5.25% to start the day.
That's good.
Your name and where you're calling from?
Yeah, this is Charles calling from Peters Township, Pennsylvania.
I know where that is. Nice to have you on our initial program. Go ahead with your question to Patrick.
Yes, I wanted to say go off the border back to the cryptocurrency. The ones that seem to be backed by the real big shots like Cuban and Elon Musk and all those, and then even SafeMoon with they have the Barstool guy behind SafeMoon now. Do you think that those ones have a better chance since they're being like pushed by these billionaires?
Good question. Do the Bitcoin? He's asking. Do the Bitcoins that have the backing of a big name, in the long run, does that make them a better play, or is that a short pump?
I don't think that's there has to be results. So if they're backed by Elon Musk, he can't just talk and say, to the moon. He'll actually have to take the payments for his vehicles and have some sort of platform how he can do it.
Which he backed off of, right?
Exactly. For Bitcoin. Because apparently because it costs so much to mine and they want to be, a climate-friendly company. But I think it's because Bitcoin is so volatile that if he starts taking money and then doesn't convert it to dollars real quick, he's going to lose like a bunch of money, and it's not going to look good on their balance.
Did you see those guys in the UK growing weed to shield the fact that it was a Bitcoin mining place? I thought how far we've come that people are, as a society, people are pretending to sell drugs to illegally mine Bitcoin.
If there's helicopters flying over to see where they're mining Bitcoin.
Yeah. They don't care about the weed.
Yeah.
412-206-6274. I would love to hear your question. Don't be shy. Call it. Oh, there. Your name, where you're calling from.
Would love to hear your question.
Go ahead, Giggly. Your name and where you're calling from.
Hi, yes, this is Shelly Anders.
Hey, nice to hear from you. Where are you calling
I'm
from?
from Dallas, Texas.
Dallas, Texas. Go ahead with your question to Patrick.
Yes, it's actually my husband, but he wants to know about Sundial, Global Star, or Workhorse?
Give the names one more time.
Sundial.
Sundial, Workhorse, and Global Star.
Okay, we'll give you the answer to that question. Thanks for calling in. What sector are they in?
The Sundial is a cannabis stock
Ooh, I know you're big into that.
engaged in the production.
Every time I walk into your office, there's just a cloud of marijuana smoke and Cheech and Chong movies playing. Go ahead. So you know about that. What was it again?
Sundial,
Right.
Global Star, and Workforce, I believe.
All cannabis?
No,
So he just wants to know about 3 stocks.
Yeah.
You have strong opinions on any of them?
I do not. I haven't looked into any of them. Is it Workforce? Is a South African company? I'd have to look in that one some more because that's if it's on a different stock exchange. I don't know much about it. Cannabis, a lot of them have been cranking, and a lot of them, you can make money. I see this one is at $1.05, so it's
Listed where?
listed on the Nasdaq.
Oh, so it's a legit company.
It's legit, but I'd have to look more into it. It's up 8.76% today. Let's take a look at some of the highs here.
I've invested a decent amount of money into marijuana, but it was just with some guy named Rico. Adalis' cousin. You have to meet him in the back of his mechanic shop.
And you probably some great returns on that one.
Not really. And he's not listed.
52-week high is $3.96.
52-week low?
The low 14 cents.
Eeh.
Very volatile.
I'd say.
I would say, play it with your play money, but don't make it like a staple in your portfolio.
Your name and where you're calling from?
Hello?
Yes, your name and where you're calling from.
Hey, this is Mike McLean from Louisville, Kentucky.
More from Louisville. Nice to hear from you. Go ahead to Patrick.
Hey, my question is sort of stock crypto related. So the SEC is suing Ripple Labs, and after the lawsuit is settled or whatever, Ripple Labs said that they're going to issue an IPO. So I'm just wondering, how would that affect the XRP crypto token?
Great question. You understand that, or you need him to rephrase anything?
I believe that Ripple is already listed.
As a stock?
No, they're not. Okay.
Okay, so well, while you're looking that up, the SEC lawsuit against Ripple. You have you know what's going on with that?
Yeah, I heard about that. I think that it's eventually all those lawsuits get settled.
And it's looking like it's falling apart, right?
Looking like it's
The head attorney quit for the SEC, or one of the attorneys.
Yeah.
And then a judge ruled that XRP does not have to provide their financials to them.
I think that the whole thing's going to fall apart, or they're going to settle, and it's not going to be for a lot of money.
And it's actually a good sign for XRP, right? That the SEC sees them as like a serious threat.
Yeah.
Because it's bounced up since that happened.
Yeah, it's bounced up.
Sure.
And it did go up even more because somebody saw that Coinbase can turn it on at any time again, and and start trading.
Starting when? This weekend? This last weekend?
No, that was a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, so Coinbase
When,
hasn't turned it back on, but they can.
Yeah, they can. And so I think that XRP is a threat to the US dollar, to any major currency, because you can transfer money from one country to the other very quickly.
Gun to your child's head. Which crypto is going to become the leader? Like 5 years from now. First of all, is it a big pack of coins and they're all going to die out except one in the long run? Or is it always going to be where there's like a ton? Or is one dominant one going to like take the reins?
I think there's going to be a couple of dominant ones.
A couple.
Maybe 4 or 3 that are going to be the
Okay, so right now, if you had to pick the 3 dominant coins, what are they going to be?
Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Ripple.
XRP. Those are good picks. Those would be tough to argue with. The XRP, you know much about their infrastructure?
Yeah, I talked to Doug about it.
So the ability where it'll like replace SWIFT transfers?
Yep.
Explain that.
So right now, when you send a wire, it takes a while for it to go through the SWIFT network and get money from one country to another. Even Western Union, where you send money from one country to another, I think that XRP and Ripple has the infrastructure and the potential to replace all of those systems, where you can just convert your dollar or euro or whatever into Ripple, send it to the other country, and then they can convert it to whatever currency is in that country very quickly. It'll be like within seconds that it's there. You don't have to wait, like with SWIFT transfers. Sending it to, like, for example, to an African or an Asian country, it can take a week, 2 weeks sometimes before it's posted in your account.
Big leaders. Microvision up 5%, 5.25. AMC up 18.75 today.
Again.
Really glad I got out of that in January.
Yeah, me too.
At like a 2/3 loss. I've got my daughter looking at community colleges. Pinduoduo up almost 9%. See if there's any big losers. Virgin Galactic down 6% and dropping. Big holdings, Tesla barely up. All the big ones are pretty flat. All down or up less than 1%. Cloudera, I don't know what they are. They're the one that's up big today. 23.79%. SM Energy 10%. Marathon Oil 10%. Devon Energy, Range Resources all up. So it's Apache 9%. Continental. It's looking like a big Southwestern Energy, Murphy Oil, all up. BlackBerry now up 7%. Boy, all those. Explain that to me. How come? Like, I thought that AMC, GameStop, if you missed that like in January, then it was done. It runs a long time. For what reason?
Yeah, people put shorts on them.
For long way out?
Or for way out, and then there could be another short squeeze where they just like push the price up, and all those shorts they either have to cover or sell, which at that point they'll have to buy the shares, and so it'll just drive up the price at that point.
Let's take a final question. 412. Oh, we got one. Final question of the day. You can take the number down. Your name and where you're calling from. Tu nombre. Donde está? You got to turn the volume down on the laptop or whatever. Your name and where you're calling from. They hung up. What a waste of time. Put the number back up. Listen, I don't know if you people have ever used phones before, but your name and where you're calling from.
Mike Macopa from Montreal.
Oh, unfortunately, I know you. Good to hear from you. Your question to Patrick or Adalis?
I saw an ad on TV saying that crypto was doing something with Visa and debit cards, and I wanted to know, is that going to be specific to one cryptocurrency, or is it going to be like a broad?
I would have to look into that. My guess is what they're going to do is they're just that you can pay with crypto. Eventually, I think that a lot of these platforms, what they're going to do, just like Visa, is that you can pay for your coffee or whatever with crypto or with stock, that they'll be able to accept anything. That's where I see it heading.
Would you suggest if you had to invest in something like this, would it be more with the Visa company or the different cryptocurrencies?
I think it will be with the Visa company, because they'd at that point come out with a platform, a merchant platform that can do all of those things, which should be a great asset to them.
Michael, are you okay, or have the Quebec police tased you for being out of the house and not 6 feet, 2 meters from somebody?
Thanks.
All right, you're welcome. Okay, so let me ask this as like a closing question. Since people are very interested in crypto, another play is, if you don't necessarily want to pick a coin, you can pick stocks that deal with crypto, that if crypto goes up, they're going to go up. I know one, Silvergate Capital. And then I don't know if you have any. If you don't want to necessarily get involved in a crypto, or you don't have Coinbase or Uphold, and you're just in the market, what's a stock or some stocks that if crypto rises, they'll rise?
Coinbase is one of them. Because when the coins go up, they'll get more in fees. So I think Coinbase is one of them. there's a couple of ETFs out there that you can, that has like investments in all of them. I'd have to look up exactly which ones they are. And I can give you the answer to that one tomorrow.
Okay, that's a good answer. All right, so listen, here's what we're going to do today is it's important to know what you're talking about or what you're doing when you're investing. So there's books anybody that's going to get into the market should read, and we're going to give you one as a gift for helping us feed 1,200 children every day. So anybody that gives, we're going to send you, tell them about this book.
It's How to Make Money in Stocks by William J. O'Neill. It's a value investing book, so it's more, like a long-term portfolio investing. It's not very speculative, and it'll give you a solid foundation on how to invest in stocks, what to do. You might have to look up some of the words on Investopedia, that the bigger words in there, just like I had to when I first started. And I think that this is one of the foundation stones for investments, this book.
Okay, so we'll send that to you as a way of saying thank you. We do feed 1,200 kids every day, and that takes real money, not fake gold coins and $100 bills that we have lined on this table. So here's the ways that you can give if you're watching, and thank you for watching our launch of Let's Check the Market. This will be on every day the market's open, about 10 minutes before market open till a little after 10 o'clock. Hashtag donate on Facebook. You can text RT to 50155. Cash App, $RT Give. Venmo, @RT Give. RT is for Revival Today. And it's if you're in the United States, it's tax-exempt giving. RevivalToday.com/PayPal. You can always go to our website, RevivalToday.com, and click Give Now. If you want to give by crypto, you can scan that QR code, or you can also do that on RevivalToday.com and click Give Now. What am I leaving out? Oh, yeah. If you like driving somewhere, if you like taking something that could be done in 2 minutes and turn it into a outing, you can mail it, Revival Today, P.O. Box 7, Prosperity, Pennsylvania, 15329. Thank you, Robert. Thank you, Kenny. Well, look at all the investors splashing the cash around. And then don't forget to claim your offer at revivaltoday.com and click claim your offer, because that makes sure we have your name and address so we can send it to you. Cash App doesn't give that to us, along with a bunch of other ones. If you want to talk to a human being, they're standing by. 412-446-2332. Thanks for joining us on the opening of what's going to be an awesome program. I think this is going to be for finances what Check the News is for the news. Help you out. Won't give you the stock of the day at 10 minutes to 4 when it was too late to buy it. Thanks for the help. Let's do something, guys. Let's put a fake account up, or it's one of the ones that allows you to invest fake money. And let's buy Patrick's stocks for a week, and then we'll see like how we would have done if you bought. And they're not picks.
Cool.
What? They're not picks, but the ones he said to research, we'll see how they did. So today's were good. If you want a safe stock to research, GOOD, mid-range, Boeing, and high risk, Chinese electric car manufacturer, NIO. So those were his picks to research. Microvision, just under 5%. Antero, just under 5%. Silvergate Capital at 2.5%.
NIO's a crypto?
NIO is a Chinese electric car company.
So
it's like with like Nikola, NIO,
yeah.
like if hydrogen fuels.
Neogenomics?
NIO, not NEO, NIO.
Oh, NIO.
Probably, I'm glad you brought it up because I should have specified that. Well, for myself, who you will not see me most days here. Dallas, who you will see many days here. Patrick, great job.
Thank you.
Really well researched, and I'm sure you helped a lot of people today. It's going to be a good help. What to do with your money. Thanks for giving. Thanks for watching. I'll be with you in less than an hour. For myself, everybody here at Revival Today, I hope you enjoyed the launch of Let's Check the Market. Bless you.